People from different communities in the area, different walks of life, who are concerned about the children being separated from their parents at the border.
Reportedly, more than 650 children were separated from their parents at the U.S. border in May, and that number is growing. Many of them are being held in detention facilities across the country, one of which is an abandoned Texas Walmart, according to the Public Broadcasting Service. Allison Bell is one of the organizers of the Families Belong Together Vigil. It was held recently at the Augusta County Public Library. Bell says she organized the vigil to prevent repeating the past.
I often think about history and wonder what I would have done if I lived in a different time. I think about the Native American children who are taken away from their parents and put in schools to learn English, or I think about the people who were on auction blocks and parents saw their children auctioned away here in Virginia in the 1800s, 1700s. If we think about Germany in the 1940s, when you saw the families being split up and the boys on one train and the girls on another, I see so much resonance with what's happening now with these children who are innocent. They're babies, some of them, toddlers, young children who have done nothing wrong, and their parents, by and large, are fleeing gang violence, domestic violence in Guatemala and Honduras. Their parents are risking everything, sacrificing everything to get here to work very low-wage jobs for their children.
U.S. Attorney General Jeff Sessions has implemented a zero-tolerance policy for immigrants crossing the border. In the past, families crossing the border illegally were treated as civil cases. Now the new policy for illegally crossing the border has become a criminal offense, and that leads to separating families. The United Nations has weighed in on the immigration issue.
There is nothing normal about detaining children. The U.S. should immediately halt this practice of separating families and stop criminalizing what should at most be an administrative offense.
We have been following the situation with children being torn from their parents' arms at the border, following situations where children are reported missing. They've been put into child care, or as John Kelly said, put into child care or whatever, and we became concerned.
Ellen Werther is another organizer of the Families Belong Together Vigil. Werther is an educator and has worked with neglected children.
We believe that family is crucial to the very fabric of the United States and what we believe in, and we want to put an end to it.
She described the immigration detention as inhumane and holds President Donald Trump responsible.
Regardless of their politics, otherwise, and regardless of their political party, people in this area put family first. And they're seeing that family is not being respected by this administration. Their children have done nothing. The children are innocent, and they deserve respect and to be treated properly.
Susan Temple was among the protesters. Temple says she's upset because the U.S. is repeating the same behavior as what she described as Nazi Germany.
The Nazis took children and put them on trains, took families and put them in boxcars, just as we are now doing to children, disappearing them, separating them from their families, treating them as though they're not human beings. And it is the mark of a dictatorship, of a tyrant, and pretty soon will be expected to give a Heil Trump. And I think it is a horrible, terrible trend and not something to be taken lightly and not something to be ignored.
She says people who look the other way, ignoring the mistreatment of immigrant children, know they are obligated to do something.
I blame any person who cannot think to see what is going on and what is happening and gives their approval to treating people like this. I think it is bringing out the worst capabilities in human beings, and I think we have leaders that are fomenting this kind of behavior, and it's a disgrace and an embarrassment to this country.
Bell questions the accuracy of documenting each child's parentage.
If parents get sent back to Honduras, for example, and their children were taken from them and put in detention centers in in Minnesota or Michigan, will they ever be reunited? My understanding is there's no system right now in place to ever reunite those children who are being forcibly removed from their parents.
In Fishersville, Elaine Rackley for Breaking Through News.